Let's break down a old deck here. So, what are we looking at here? Can we figure out what deck this is yet? This was kind of a fun deck. Um, it's a value deck. Um, wasn't wasn't combo orientated. And you'll see in a second here that it was Muldrotha. And I do like this deck, and it'll be nice to have like a record of this deck. Um, oh, we lost the camera froze for some reason. I'm not sure why that happened. Let's see if we can fix that. Okay, there we go. So Muldrotha, good old Muldrotha, good value card. But yeah, so we're gonna break this down. So obviously we have counter spells and blue spells. Jace was good in here because you can keep casting them over and over again. So you draw the card. I can get a zoom in here of this. Not gonna look so great this close, but there we go. Draw a card. Target player draws a card, so it's going to be you, and you just do that every turn. I mean, it's a pretty slow way to draw a card every turn. And then, of course, Mana Drain. That's the money card. Beautiful Mana Drains. Pick those up off Card Kingdom for a pretty good deal. Let's find a good spot for this. So Muldrotha is our key card here, and then we'll organize these into colors. Of course, you got to have your Demonic Tutor to search for all the cards that you're looking for. Your lands. I liked Marin in here as more of another way to bring creatures back. You can never have too many ways to bring creatures back. And Lotus Petal is really great because that's a free, if you don't have a better artifact that's going to do something, you can just keep adding mana. Deathrite Shaman, just a value. Just got to play this in any black-green deck. It's just going to get you your mana, everything you need. Mystic Subdual came out around the time I was building this deck, and I was like, oh, this is interesting because you want a variety of permanent types. You don't want just artifacts and creatures. You want some enchantments, and if their creature that you've equipped or enchanted this dies, then you just cast it again on something else, and it shuts down a lot of good targets. Abrupt Decay, another auto include in a black-green deck. Just utility there. Gitrog. Again, the theme of bringing things back from your graveyard. You might as well be playing those extra lands from your graveyard. Well, you're going to be sacking the lands, drawing the cards, and then bringing lands back with Muldrotha and other cards as well. Ooh, here's a nice one. Biblioteca Silvestra. So this is a Italian Sylvan Library. Really nice card to have. And then Kenris Transformation, again, kind of like the Mystic Subdual. It's there to stop commanders, stop creatures from doing their thing. Draws you a card. So again, an enchantment you could be bringing back. Pretty good. Greatbreaker Lamia. This card never ended up being as good as I thought it was going to be. You get to search and put something in your graveyard, which is cool. It has a 4/4 lifelink for 5, and it makes your stuff cheaper. So ideally, it should be pretty good. It might have just been a little too much of a mana cost to be effective. Kaiga, this is a 4-1. Go to the graveyard, gain control of an opponent's creature, or any creature, I guess. This is a good creature to be like recurring and using over and over again. And I think I'm playing we might see an Ashnod's Altar later. So you'd sack this, get the creature, cast it again, sack it, get another creature. Nice little loop. It's more non-basic lands. Omen of the Sea was another it's cheap enchantment. It's going to draw you some cards. It's going to let you do some scrying. It has flash. So these kinds of cards for Muldrotha value, they were like, okay. Lightning Greaves, you really don't want to see Muldrotha die. It costs 6 mana to get out. Now, usually what I found is once you did get it out, you're able to cast like a Lotus Petal and play a land and some things like that. So you would be getting the ability to cast Muldrotha again pretty quickly. So, but you really don't want to have to spend that mana when you could just have a Lightning Greaves to keep them in play. And of course, Opposition Agent you have to play in every black deck because this card is bananas broken, like Surprised it's only a rare. Surprised it's only $15. This card should be worth more in the future, especially if they don't reprint them. And if this price doesn't go up, I'm not sure why they would. Just a super solid. You should own this card. More non-basic land. Every deck could have a Soul Ring. Bloom Tender, obviously a 3-color deck. The cheap guy. Gives you lots of mana. All you really need to know about that. Intuition. Now, this is a great card in this deck. Cheap, instant, and anybody who plays cedh knows this card. Ask Phil. Tweet at Phil. So Intuition is just going to go and get, and usually in most decks it's going to go get combo pieces and try to win. In this deck, you're just getting any of the cards that you want, that you need to make Muldrotha happy. Delay, just some counter magic, cheap counter magic, 1 blue, that's important in a 3-color deck. Force Negation, a little less common that this should be played in like a Muldrotha deck, but I figured, you know, it's free counter magic potentially, so hopefully you can get that out, get that cast. Of course, Bird of Paradise. Every green deck should be playing this card. In a Muldrotha, it's going to help you get it out quicker. You could be able to cast one easily once Muldrotha's out and it's died. In Search of Greatness, this is a newer card. I added this in obviously recently, like around the time it came out, and there's a lot of pardon. Hold on. Pardon me. There's a lot of permanents in this deck, and this lets you play permanents for free. Lets you cast them for free, and if you don't, you get to scry. So for 2 mana, it's pretty good value. It's kind of in the vein of a Sylvan Library, where it's like a 2-drop enchantment that's green, that's letting you get some not card advantage. Well, I guess if you can put a card into play, but yeah, it's just sort of letting you cheat a little bit, which is always fun. Good card. Be surprised if this doesn't see more play. You do kind of have to specialize your deck around a little bit, because it's kind of like Birthing Pod. It's got to have that like cost curve. Skull Clamp. I mean, things are going to the graveyard. You're sacking creatures. You're playing them again. It's a 1-drop artifact. Drawing you cards. I mean, what more do you need to say about that? Moonlight Bargain. So this is another 5-drop. So this was maybe the deck had a little too many of these 5-drops, but it's an instant, which is nice. So you look at the top 5 cards of your library, and then for each card you don't want to put into your graveyard, in other words, that you want to put into your hand, you pay 2 life. And then the rest go to the graveyard. So this, obviously, you could just play this for 5 and let 5 cards go to your graveyard if you wanted, if you had the Muldrotha going on. Here's a classic. Natural Order, again, with the idea being that you're going to be casting things out of your graveyard, but then you also have some juicy targets you want to go and get. Natural Order fits this bill. And then some more non-basic land. And then we have a Terastodon. So here's another big beefy creature, maybe a Natural Order target. 9/9 for 8, and it's going to destroy 3 non-creature permanents. So it's a nice bit of control there. And I think we're playing Pernicious Deed, so which combos nicely with this. You just wipe out all those tokens that you just gave your opponents. More non-basic lands. Spellskite, another cheap artifact, which are good in here for Muldrotha, obviously, but this is another way. It's like the Lightning Greaves. Helps keeping Muldrotha alive. World Shaper. Now, World Shaper, I opened this very card before COVID. I opened this at a game, Commander game at the local game store. Shout out to Everything Games. And I found that this would be an interesting card because you would attack and you would get to mill yourself, and you get to, and when this dies, you get to put those lands back into play. So it's working with Muldrotha, maybe cast it again. Again, I think we have the Ashnod's Altar at some point, so you could be sacking this whenever you want. Not necessarily the best to include, but just an interesting one. And then, of course, Necromancy. Here's another classic. There's a lot of text, but essentially it's an enchantment, and you play it, you put a creature from any graveyard into play attached to this. This becomes a creature enchantment. Or an enchant creature, I should say. And yeah, so great when you're milling yourself, or if you're playing against maybe your opponent's got that Consecrated Sphinx in their graveyard, or that Jin-Taxis, and you're like, oh, I'll have that, thank you. And you can play it as an instant. Some more lands. Mox Diamond obviously is going to be good in this deck because you're going to be discarding lands. You're going to be discarding lands. You're going to want to ramp or get spells out quickly. And so this is great for those reasons. Okay, now we got Ether Spellbomb. This is a nice cheap artifact that's giving you some control. You can bounce your own creatures. You can bounce their creatures. You can draw a card. I mean, this is a fantastic include for a Muldrotha deck wanting to cast this over and over again for 1 mana. Yagmoth Salvage, going with the Gitrog. Also, Dredge, so it's just like a nice little milling yourself ability for Muldrotha. Liliana of the Veil. Took me a long time to get one of these originally because I wasn't that interested in it. It was pretty narrow for my uses in my collection. But with Muldrotha, you're allowed one of each permanent type, so it's good to have some cheap planeswalkers. And obviously, this each player discards a card, so you can make advantage of this, and then you can also make your opponent sacrifice a creature. So it's got some value. Evergreen deck these days wants to play Carpet of Flowers, especially in cEDH because there's so much blue. What's interesting is there's a lot of competitive decks now that are not playing blue at all, and it is possible to find yourself in a pod with no islands. So be warned. Spike Feeder, another cheap creature, gaining some life. That's about all there is to it. It's just if you want to gain some life, it's good to have a little of this guy. I don't think I end up wanting to spend too many of my creature casts with Muldrotha on a Spike Feeder, but tokens. The tokens are fairly versatile, and this is just a beautiful old classic card from Stronghold. Gortz again playing Force of Negation, so I'm going to be playing Force of Will. Some more lands. Gonna have a mana crypt for that fast mana. Ancient Tomb for some more fast mana. Mr. Kimura. Now, this card, you'd be like, oh yeah, I know Mr. Kimura. I've seen this card. I play this in all my blue decks. And a lot of people do, especially in competitive. It's especially good in Muldrotha, and I'll tell you why. It has a cumulative upkeep of 1. So every turn you have to pay an additional on top of the one that you paid the last time to keep this alive. And you want to because you want to draw these cards. However, in Muldrotha, you let it die. And then you cast it again, assuming you have Muldrotha in play. And then you're only ever playing 1 blue every turn instead of 1 blue and then a colorless and then 2 colorless and 3 colorless, right? So you just let this die, you cast it again. It's pretty awesome. Draw those cards. Fuel the combos. Fuel the value. All right, and then so Reclamation, self-explanatory, just a little bit of control. And a little bit of removal here on a creature that you can cast. Again, you want to spread you want to have like the different permanents, right? Eternal Witness for if you need some more help getting something from your graveyard because Muldrotha or whatever else isn't quite cutting it and you need another thing. You bring this back and that lets you bring something else back. Steve, Secure Tribe Elder. Just I wonder if they call him Steve because STE, right? Steve. Anyway, yeah, just a little value guy. Great to recast every turn for the first little while. Great with Marin. Get these, allowing you to get those experience counters. Land. Tormod's Crypt. There's versions of this that draw you a card I should probably be playing, but I like the 0 casting cost. It's like the Lotus Petal. You can just throw it into play. And you could exile from a player's graveyard, exile all cards from their graveyard. So it's a nice little. This deck is a little bit of a kitchen sink. You're a little bit trying to control everything. Here's a flesh bag. Same idea. It's just going to play this every turn. Everybody sacks a creature. You'll sack this so you can cast it again. Sudden Reclamation. So this is another card that I don't think I loved as much as I thought I would when I was playing it, but you put the top 4 cards of your library in your graveyard, then return a creature card and a land card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's an instant and you're going to be able to get some value out of it. Putting stuff in your graveyard and stuff into your hand. And then some more lands. And we got a Frixion Metamorph, kind of random. Not really sure why this is in here as far as, like, it's good for just copying value creatures, but aside from that, I don't think there is a particular reason. So I could have found a better card than that, I'm sure. I'll move these around a little bit so we can have a better view. Okay, and then Yagmoth Thrantra, Physician. So, I mean, obviously he's an interesting creature. I was disappointed when I first saw this because I didn't. I like Yagmoth cards. I like Yagmoth's Will, like Yagmoth's Bargain. Like, ooh, they're making Yagmoth. Like, I wonder what he'll be like. I I imagine he'd be bigger. Um, I mean, when they printed Crick, Son of Yagmoth, I was like, okay, that's more sort of what I was looking for. Um, but in here, this guy's decent. You're going to pay a life and sacrifice another creature. So with Muldrotha, you can be able to like sack a creature that you want to bring back, like that Kaiga, for instance. And you're going to put a -1/-1 on another creature and draw a card. So that's going to help you deal with another player's creatures. And then you're also going to get to proliferate, which isn't really great in this deck. So, I mean, in retrospect, I probably wouldn't play this creature. He's just okay in here. He's obviously really good in some other decks. Some lands. Baleful Strix. So this is a cute little 1/1 for 2. The Flying Death Touch gives you a lot of defensive options. And then also he's ETB draw a card. He's a little cantrip on a stick. So this guy's cool and easy to cast, and he's an artifact and a creature, so you have the option. So if he is in your graveyard down Muldrotha, you can either use the artifact side or the creature side for your permanent of that type for the turn. And then Pernicious Deed. This card's very strong. 3-mana enchantment kills artifacts, creatures, and enchantments with X casting costs or less. So kills all tokens for free. Man lands that are activated for free. Bump it up to 1. You're killing your birds, your Deathrite Shamans on these things. Of course, in this deck, it will hit a number of things, but you're going to be able to cast those things again. And you're going to be able to cast this again. So imagine having a Muldrotha in play that's a 6-drop. You can kill every 5-drop or less every turn over and over and over again. You'll have to pay 8 mana for that, but if you have Muldrotha, you should have at least 6 lands. So you should be getting pretty close. This is the ultimate control. Doesn't kill Planeswalkers, but pretty much kills everything else every turn. Strong card from Apocalypse. Factor Fiction, for those people who want to draw cards as an instant, don't want to worry about Notion Thief or Narset, part of Veils, and also you want a way to fill up your graveyard. Factor Fiction is the card. You reveal top 5 to an opponent, they make 2 piles, you pick a pile, that goes in your hand, the other one goes in your graveyard. Pretty cool. Then we have just like a Triome, which is good because it cycles. It's obviously got the 3 colors we're looking for, the black, blue, green, and it cycles so you can play it from your graveyard. And a Cavern of Souls. Got to have that cavern to make sure Muldrotha does not get countered. We don't want that guy getting countered. All right, next. Solemn Simulacrum. That's got a weird name. What do they call this guy? Sad Robot. So, he's a 4-drop 2/2. He's just going to come into play. He's going to get you that basic land. So he's going to help ramp you a little bit. And then when he dies, he draws you a card. So again, artifact and a creature for Muldrotha's purposes. You get that option, which is great. And other than that, he's a little expensive. 4 mana is a little high. But the cool full art version. And then let's try to turn my phone on mute here. Okay, Drift of Phantasm. So these transmute cards, some people like them, some people not so much. This one's one of the, I mean, it's just a 0/5 defender flying for 3 otherwise. But it goes and gets you a 3-drop. So it goes and gets you, if I think I'm playing Ashdod's Altar in here, but if I am, that's one of the targets, or a Pernicious Deed, or one of those Planeswalkers. And there's definitely some things that this wants to go and get. but, you know, not everybody loves them. Trinket Mage goes and gets you the top, the Soul Ring, the Mana Crypt. In this deck, it also can get you the Skull Clamp or Lotus Petal or Tormod's Crypt. So there's a lot of good little options. You're okay casting this guy a couple of times in a game to get some value. Some more lands. Lotus Cobra, obviously good with all the lands, stamp lands and things, and playing lands from the graveyard and stuff. This will help you get some extra manas going. Here's my green pile. Gravetide, just another like, hey, we want to get. I mean, our commander is a 6-drop, so we definitely need some help in the mana department. A 0/3 for 2 is going to be pretty good, and especially with the hexproof. Some more lands. Treacherous Blessing. So this one's interesting. So a 3-drop enchantment, and it's going to draw you 3 cards. So 3 cards for 3 mana. It's about as good as you get these days. It does have the condition that whenever you cast a spell while this is in play, you're going to lose a life. And if this becomes the target of spell or ability, sacrifice it. So that part definitely is good for us. And again, we're in Muldrotha, so the idea is that we would cast this multiple times a game potentially. And we do play Claws of Gix, so you could sacrifice this and then be able to cast it again and then not have to worry about the losing life condition too much. So not too bad. And there's not a ton of enchantments in here, so we definitely have some room. Some more of these basic lands. Here's a beautiful Llanowar Elf. Nice unlimited Llanowar Elf. Here's another Planeswalker, Tamiyo, Collector of Tales. So this Planeswalker is actually decent because it's doing more of the graveyard things. Its first line, which I always forget about, is spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to discard cards or sacrifice permanents. That's a great condition that I always forget about. The next thing is choose a non-land card name. So you choose a card that's not a land, you name it, and you reveal the top 4 cards of your library, put all the cards with the chosen name into your hand, the rest in the graveyard. So that part's like not going to be great in Commander because you're only ever going to get 1 copy and it's a 100-card deck, but you're trying to fill your graveyard anyway. And then his second ability, or her second ability, is return target card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's like a regrowth. So it's kind of a self-sustained commander or a planeswalker. So, but you know, not amazing, not broken. Could easily be something else. Spark Double, however, Spark Double we like in this because it's going to give you an extra Muldrotha. So now you're going to get 2 Lotus Petals. You're going to get whatever. You're going to get all your creatures, everything you want. You're going to get extra. You're getting 1 extra, and he's bigger. This card took a little while to get going when it first got printed, but then people started really realizing the power of it. Maybe you want 2 Gitrog monsters or 2 Marins. Spark Double gives you that ability. And that's something that's really nice that you get out of black, blue, and green. Out of that color combo as you get those things. Arcane Signet, just some more mana ramp because we've got to have, you know, expensive commander. Okay, here's a good one. Oko, another 3-drop planeswalkers. Basically any decent 3-drop planeswalker we can consider for this deck. Creating a food token. Obviously, the big ability is making an opponent's artifact or creature become a 3/3 permanently. And then you could steal one of their artifacts or creatures. Yeah, this is one of those, how did they think this was okay to print? And yet they did it anyway, and now you have to play it. Some more lands. All right, here's that Claws of Gix we were talking about. It's a 0-drop, so you can go get it with a Trinket Mage. Pay a life, sack a permanent, gain a life. Pretty straightforward, but great when you want to be like reusing these cards that are in your graveyard or in play. Get them into your graveyard, cast them again. All right, and a nice Tropical Island. Got to play that. Polluted Delta. Got to play that. Felwar Stone. So just a more basic mana ramp. And this deck is slightly incomplete, I'm pretty sure. This is the last card in the stack, but I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a Jeweled Lotus in here as well, for obvious reasons. So Ashiok is just a little more opponent, like mess over your opponents. They can't search their libraries, and then you get to mill them and exile their graveyards. So there you go. That is Muldrotha. So let's one more look at Muldrotha. He's a 6/6 for 6. During each of your turns, you may play up to one permanent card from each permanent type from your graveyard. If a card has multiple permanent type, choose the one as you play it. So yeah, you get to say artifact. I'll play a Lotus Petal. Creature. I'll play a Land of Werewolf. Enchantment. I'll play Omen of the Seas. Like you just get to keep playing every turn. Multiple permanent types. Yep. So there you go. That's Muldrotha. Thanks for joining me on this not super long stream as we broke down Muldrotha. I'm going to break down some more decks, and then I'm going to build some new decks. So once all these cards are out of the way, that frees me up to build some new exciting decks. So look forward to that, and thank you very much for joining us.